544 candidates for the May-June formal assessment.
And in international news, Israel-Lebanon extends ceasefire by 45 days despite new Israeli strikes.
Brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
Parliament Ashroom Office. As leaders settle into the new term, attention is now shifting from the ceremony to performance, with legislators promising reforms, accountability, improved service delivery, and renewed efforts to tackle poverty across the country. Tonight, we take a closer look at the promises and expectations and challenges facing Uganda's 12th Parliament. Let us take a look at this.
The three-day exercise that officially ushered in Uganda's 12th Parliament concluded yesterday after hundreds of legislators pledged to serve the country with integrity, commitment, and loyalty to the Constitution. The proceedings attracted excitement and celebration as members of Parliament arrived with supporters, friends, and family members to witness the beginning of a new legislative term.
I, Anita Annette Among, swear in the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda.
By the close of the exercise, a total of 527 legislators had officially assumed office, with only the Kalangala District Parliamentary seat remaining vacant following the death of a former woman MP, Helen Nachimuri, while Bukuya County MP-elect Michael Yiga had not yet taken oath. As the transition from the 11th to the 12th Parliament takes shape, several leaders reflected on the performance of the previous House, with some commending its legislative achievements and management.
The performance has been excellent. One, we have supported all the programs of the government, and we have been able to pass critical bills. A very good example, the Petroleum Supply Amendment Bill, which has brought security of fuel supply.
The 11th Parliament did very well, and we thank the leadership of the 11th Parliament. They did very well. They gave priorities to government, business, and all business. They did exceedingly well.
However, not all legislators shared the same view. Some members of Parliament criticized the 11th Parliament of allegations of corruption, controversial legislation, and failure to adequately address the concerns of ordinary Ugandans.
Because I have been leading one side of the House, it has honestly not lived to the expectations of Ugandans. See, the vision of this Parliament here is to be a people-centered Parliament. As somebody who's been in this House for 5 years, I admit we have not been people-centered. The kind of laws that we have passed, you know, the corruption that has been at this Parliament, many of the things that we have been doing in this Parliament, the laws passed, the budgets and so on, they have not been people-centered.
The people of Uganda did not want the sovereignty bill, but Parliament passed it. The people of Uganda did not want rationalization of UCDA, but we rationalized. The people of Uganda did not want civilians to be tried in military courts. What happened? So why do you want to expect something new when there is nothing new that has happened?
Several lawmakers called for reforms aimed at strengthening transparency, accountability, and citizen-centered leadership in the new Parliament.
Parliament we need to look at is, as I said, reforms in as far as electioneering is concerned. This Parliament must also look at the element of ensuring that the legal framework that governs electoral financing regulation is put in place.
Call, and especially to our colleagues on the NRM side, let's be truly people-centered. This is not an opposition thing, yeah? When we are passing budgets, when we are passing laws, let's not pass laws targeting individuals. Let's pass laws for the good of the country. If it is a budget, and that's why for us to normally have been producing an alternative budget, let it be a budget that is people-centered, not a budget that is, pushing through the whims and fancies of some particular people.
Despite the criticism, Leaders entering the 12th Parliament expressed optimism that the new House would focus more on improving livelihoods, strengthening service delivery, and supporting government programs aimed at poverty eradication and economic transformation.
Top on my agenda is service delivery, especially on health and education to the people.
We are focusing on now is to fight poverty. We want household income. We are going to support the president once again. I want you to remember that Parish Government Model is our flagship program.
Whatever I do has to be aligned with the president's manifesto and message. He has declared this Kisanja, no sleep. This is a Kisanja where we are going to focus on wealth creation, where I want to differentiate between development and socio-economic transformation.
Other legislators outlined priorities ranging from healthcare and education to accountability and household income improvement.
Twagala okulaba nti abantu abo abakyali obubi mu byenfuna bavaayo nabo basobola okubeerako n'akasente mu nsawo zaabwe. Abantu bange aba Budyopya West Constituency amazima gali nti mukyali bubi, tukyali bubi.
Our core pillars are going to be on three main issues: education, health and entrepreneurship. I am going to foster President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's message to see that first we improve household income, transform communities and have wealth creation in our communities.
Expect that this time I'll do much more, or I'll do much better, given that now I'm one of the senior members or the few members who have been able to return to Parliament.
One of my first missions is to see the Parliament passing minimum wage bill.
The 12th Parliament now begins its work amid high public expectations, with Ugandans looking to lawmakers for practical solutions on unemployment, corruption, healthcare, education, and the rising cost of living. Whether the promises made during the opening days will translate into meaningful reforms and improved service delivery remains one of the biggest tests facing the new Parliament in the years ahead.
Now, former Speaker of the 11th Parliament, Anita Among, is facing mounting political and legal pressure after a joint security operation reportedly raided her residence in Nakasero this afternoon as part of the ongoing investigations into alleged illicit enrichment, undeclared wealth and money laundering. The operation, reportedly led by a Criminal Investigations Directorate with support from the Uganda People's Defense Forces and other security agencies, marks one of the most significant developments yet in the growing scrutiny over Speaker ahead of the anticipated leadership context in the 12th Parliament. We do take a look at this development.
A heavy security presence was reportedly witnessed at the Nakasero residence of former Speaker of the 11th Parliament, Anita Among, today afternoon as detectives, military intelligence officers, and forensic investigators conducted a search operation linked to ongoing corruption investigations. According to sources, the operation involved scrutiny of documents, property records, and other materials believed to be connected to allegations of unexplained wealth and possible breaches of the Leadership Code Act. The latest developments come days after the Inspector General of Government, Aisha Batala Nalule, confirmed that her office had formally opened investigations into complaints filed by a group of lawyers and activists regarding Among's declared assets and sources of income.
So what I can tell you is that we received the complaint and we are processing it. We are going to work on it.
The petition reportedly questioned several high-value acquisitions associated with the former Speaker, including reports of a luxury Rolls-Royce vehicle allegedly imported from the United Kingdom, as well as other properties said to be under investigation. The investigations are unfolding at a politically sensitive moment as Parliament prepares for the leadership transition into the 12th Parliament amid growing tensions within sections of the ruling National Resistance Movement and the Patriotic League of Uganda. Observers say the emerging political divisions have increasingly centered around concerns over corruption, influence and control of Parliament's top leadership positions. In recent days, Chief of Defence Forces General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has repeatedly issued strongly worded public statements condemning corruption and abuse of public office, remarks many political observers have interpreted as indirectly targeting senior political figures linked to extravagant spending. Security and political sources also indicate that discussions surrounding the upcoming speakership race have intensified, with reports suggesting that some influential actors within government circles are backing Defence Minister Jacob Oboth for the position. The developments further follow the reported arrest of Masaka City Woman Member of Parliament Justin Namere Nsubuga, who had publicly defended Amung during online exchanges involving Patriotic League of Uganda Secretary General Daudi Kabanda. By press time, neither the Criminal Investigations Directorate nor the Uganda People's Defence Forces had officially issued a statement regarding the reported raid, and it remained unclear whether any arrests had been made or property seized during the operation. Political analysts say the unfolding investigations could significantly shape the dynamics within the ruling establishment and influence the race for the leadership of the 12th Parliament in the coming days.
Now, as Uganda's 12th Parliament officially begins its new legislative term, several Ugandans have expressed mixed expectations, hopes, and concerns regarding the performance of the newly elected members of Parliament. Our reporter toured this village called Uganda, and he did gather citizen views about this whole house, and certainly we do take a look at this report.
Uganda's parliament remains one of the country's key institutions mandated to represent citizens, pass laws and oversee government programs aimed at improving livelihoods and national development. Since the restoration of the parliamentary democracy under the 1995 constitution, every new parliament has come with renewed expectations from citizens for improved service delivery, accountability, employment opportunities, better health care, education and infrastructure development. However, over the years, promises, corruption allegations, controversial laws and what they describe as growing detachment between leaders and ordinary citizens. From the 9th and the 11th Parliament, public debates largely centered on taxation, trade regulations, unemployment, healthcare challenges, and rising costs of living. Now, as the 12th Parliament takes shape, citizens from different sectors are once again calling upon lawmakers to prioritize the needs of ordinary Ugandans over politics and personal interests.
Ababaka baffe ababadde mu Parliament n'abajja abapya bayingidde Parliament sina kyembabanja era neggwanga twali bali tubabanja bitono olw'ensonga zino wammanga. Tewaliiwo teeka nga gavumenti yerireese oba nga gavumenti yagala likole ababaka lye bayinza kuwakanya oba lye bayinza nti erinyigiriza munnansi nti balina kye bayinza oddikola lireme kuyita.
Wase Fatuma, a rice wholesaler operating at Nakaiza Building, Kisenyi, congratulated the newly elected legislators and urged them to remain closely connected to the people who voted them into office.
So let them go to the business people, they go to the health centers, everywhere. Let them be productive, let them be creative so that people will be able to tell them the changes they are having. If they are to help, they can help in mobilizing.
Abed Ramadan Musoga, also a trader at Nakaiza Building, called upon legislators to focus more on serving citizens rather than pursuing personal interests.
Mu Koli North eriyo Jamal Mukuve mganda ange twasoba naye mukubiriza aleke kuyayana nnyo na sente baba wasente $350 bone basoka ne bekusa naye nkubiriza gavumenti yaffe eyigiriza ababaka abo okututuukira tubatuwulirize batuseemu babe ne kyenjawo ku parliament eri ebaddewo.
Amateeka mangi nnyo aganyigiriza bannansi ge tulabye oluusi n'abopposition oba abalivuddeyo tulwanirira oba okulwanisa amateeka aganyigiriza bannansi. Tulaba nga namba mu parliament gye baba balina eba ntono nnyo.
Longo Lutaya, another tax driver operating at the old tax park, said citizens should also understand the limitations faced by the legislators, especially opposition MPs, who may not have enough numbers to block certain government-backed bills.
Era abamu tebakuzibwa nga abantu ngombe bakola ki bakyogera. Ne tugenza okulonda abantu bana abato ne cabinet empya nga tulina obulumi bwa amaanyi nnyo ddala. Okuva waggulu tebatufuddeeko paka wansi. Kubanje sikyensinga okumanya nti omukulembeze owa waggulu weewawo abanga n'obubaka bw'alesimu n'asiga mu bantu abalala abamuddirira babutuusa mu mutwe wa wansi ate ffe tobukoze eki tobutuuse nowezibanga ssente za myoga noweziba zaaki.
However, not all citizens remain optimistic. Mr. Sega Waiboda border rider and a resident of Chileka said some Ugandans have gradually lost confidence in legislators due to laws passed in previous parliament they believed negatively affected ordinary people. Sega was specifically criticized the trade order policy, arguing that its enforcement has negatively affected small-scale traders and vulnerable citizens trying to earn a living.
Wow. Walonda tetubalinaamu nnyo ssuubi okusinziira ku palamenti ey'11 yeekoze n'amateeka ge bayisizza nga nze ku lwange ndaba nga tegayamba nnyo omuntu wa bulijjo okugyako bo bennyini okweyongeza ensako n'okwegabira emisaala nga bwe baagala.
As Uganda's 12th parliament begins its work, many citizens say they expect lawmakers to focus more on accountability, service delivery, economic empowerment, healthcare improvement, infrastructure development, and addressing the high cost of living affecting households across the country.
Bw'otunuulira enteekateeka egenda mu maaso gye baatuuma abani n'eyokusengula abantu abakolera ku nguudo baliwo enguudo. Trade order. Trade order nze ngamba nti yalibadde mu cities. Naye mu butawuni obuli ewala abantu beeyiya bweyiya.
The Uganda Vocation and Technical Assessment Board has released this year's timetable for practical examinations scheduled to run for between May 18th to June 8th, 2026, with 47,774 candidates expected to sit for the assessment across the country. Officials have also revealed plans to introduce vocational and technical education in primary schools as part of efforts to equip learners with practical skills at a very early age. We do take a look at these revelations by UVITAB in the country.
The Uganda Vocational and Technical Assessment Board has officially unveiled the timetable for this year's practical examinations, which are set to begin on May 18th and run until June 8th. The examinations will involve candidates pursuing courses in technology, business studies, cosmetology, and other vocational disciplines from institutions across the country.
UVITAB has registered 47,744 candidates for the May-June formal assessment.
A total of 47,774 candidates is expected to sit the assessments, including 23,281 female candidates and 24,493 male candidates. This was revealed by Deputy Executive Secretary UVITAB, Dr. Wilfred Dahamya.
UVITAB has successfully registered a total of 47,774 candidates for the May-June 2026 assessment series that is going to begin from 18th May 2026 to 8th June 2026 at 273 assessment centers across the country.
The board has also confirmed that 165 candidates with disabilities will participate in the examinations. To support them, during the assessment period, 100 assistants have been deployed to help facilitate the exercise and ensure inclusiveness.
As part of enhancing inclusivity and inclusive education, the board has registered a total of 165 candidates with special needs pursuing various TVET qualifications. The special needs categories are contractures, which involves missing some fingers or fused body parts, hearing impairments, physical disability, visual impairments, chronic illness, sickle cells, among others. The special needs candidates have been accorded over 100 support personnel to assist them in the various ways, and others as sign language interpreters, transcribers, and guides.
Officials have minimally warned candidates against engaging in examination malpractice, emphasizing that strict supervision measures have been put in place to guarantee fairness and transparency. More than 500 supervisors have been assigned to monitor examination centers countrywide.
The board continues to appeal to heads of centers to appoint assessment task force that will work closely with UVTAB assessment managers for the smooth conduct of the assessment.
The assessment body has further directed heads of institutions to establish internal examination committees that will work closely with the body to ensure the smooth management of the exercise.
A total of over 500 scouts have been deployed to ensure that all the assessment is done in accordance with the TVET Act 2025.
Julius Muhumuza, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.
Now, because we are the Church of Uganda Family TV, with us is the courtesy to get to listen to the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, giving us nourishment at the spiritual level and certainly letting us live harmoniously and peacefully with guidance that takes us to the heavenly kingdom. We do take a look at the Archbishop's moment.
Archbishop's moment. Sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now.
And African Hearts Junior School, where we nurture joyful, helpful, and God-fearing children.
God will always elevate you from where you were not respected, and He puts you where you are respected. He can remove you from shame to fame. This is the God I'm talking about. This is God is able to elevate you from nowhere to somewhere, from nobody to somebody, from nothing to something, from grass to grace, from labor to favor, from a mess to a message, from a test to a testimony. This is the God I'm talking about. Hallelujah. And now, you shouldn't trust a weaker force. Always trust God. Every morning, even when you come in the office, just pray for your office. Just pray for the vehicle before you enter it. Just pray for everybody. And I'm so grateful that you can have a time like this one to say, we are here to say, God, you are above everything.
Archbishop's moment. Sponsored by Uganda Christian University, a center of excellence in the heart of Africa. Join the UCU experience now.
And African Hearts Junior School, where we nurture joyful, helpful, and God-fearing children.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, the Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, reminding us of the value of prayer and certainly asking us to always pray to the Lord, because that is the start of our relationship with the Father, and certainly it is the point at which He decides who to assist and certainly those to push to the next level. And at this moment, we do head into a very short break, and certainly news at 8 will be right back. Welcome back from that very short break. It is news at 8 here on Church of Uganda Family TV. My name is Philip Mulisa and I am with Winnie Buyinza Nakauchi for sign language interpretation. Now, starting us off in this second segment is our Matters Day series. Now, as Uganda counts down to this year's Uganda Matters Day celebrations, our Matters Day profile series continues tonight with the story of Alexander Kadoko, a Christian convert believed to have been related to Kabaka Mwanga II and remembered for his courage and loyalty to faith during one of Buganda Kingdom's darkest moments. We do take a look at this story. Such a sad story of martyrdom indeed. Now, in more news, Christians from different parts of Kampala are today gathered at Church of the Resurrection Bugolobi for the Family Run 2026, an annual event organized to raise funds in support of the Anglican Youth Conference. The event attracted youth, parents, church leaders and runners who participated in 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers and 2 kilometer races as the church emphasized evangelism, youth empowerment and health living through physical exercise. We do take a look at this report.
Excitement and fellowship marked the Family Run 2026 at Church of the Resurrection Bugorobi as hundreds of Christians turned up for the annual event aimed at supporting the Anglican Youth Conference. Participants competed in different race categories, including the 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer and 2 kilometer runs, bringing together families, youth and church leaders in an atmosphere of unity and worship. Assistant Bishop of Kampala Diocese, Bishop Frederick Jackson Barwa, urged younger people to use their strength and energy to serve God faithfully while they still have the opportunity.
The Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1, and it says that we should be able, remember your Creator in the days of youth. The youth are advised and encouraged to serve the Lord, to develop a relationship with God, to be available for God during this time. And that's a reality of life. I remember when I was a young person, I would go for missions the entire month, but now I cannot do that because of the other responsibilities. So I want to appeal to the young people to do the best you can when you still have the energy.
Bishop Barwa also challenged Christians to intentionally invest in youth ministry and ensure the gospel is passed on to the next generation.
But also for the general church, the congregation, I want to request you to support youth ministry. First of all, they are the biggest population. How can we avoid supporting the population? We are also encouraged to pass on the gospel. If we don't pass it on to the next generation, we know what has happened in the entire world. Many people built cathedrals, bigger churches, but now they are empty.
The vicar of the Church of the Resurrection in Bugorobi, Reverend David Asimwe, said that the annual Family Run not only supports ministry work, but also encourages healthy living through regular physical exercise.
It's great to be here for this Family Run 2026. It is an annual event where we come as a church, as a family, and do some exercise, do some running. We have 10 kilometers, we had the 5 kilometers, we had 2 kilometers, and now we are all here. See how physically fit we are. We're able to sweat, we're able to be healthy, and I think it's a good thing to do that. But number 3, this is to raise money to support the Bugorobi Anglican Youth Conference that happens every year.
Associate Vicar Reverend Wilfred Tusubira highlighted the importance of the Anglican Youth Conference in nurturing younger people spiritually, morally and socially.
Youth ministry is one of those that fall in my docket. And the run today is one of the ways of raising funds for a youth conference, Bugorobi Annual Youth Conference. This is an event where children, youth are brought together to be ministered to be able to receive the good news of salvation.
Meanwhile, the Socialist coordinator, Reverend Richard Musinguzi, encouraged parents to support children in participating in physical activities, saying that exercise promotes discipline, good health and teamwork.
I'm very excited. I'm here in the run organized by the youth of Church of the Resurrection, Bugolobi Church of Uganda. I really have been inspired to see that the young people are now engaging in some of these events to mobilize resources and to inspire young people to use their energy for the Lord. You know, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1, remember your Creator in the days of your youth.
Other church leaders and participants emphasized the importance of unity, fellowship and supporting youth programs within the church.
Mothers, we became intentional in supporting our youth and walking a journey with them. That's why we have been here in big numbers today, not only to bring our children but also to run as we support the children in preparation for the Bugolobi Annual Youth Conference. And I call upon you all mothers who are not able to come in today to kindly gather all the money, all the resources. Let's support our children and let us walk this journey with them.
Winners in the various race categories expressed excitement after the competition and encouraged more Christians to participate in future editions of the family run.
I feel when I picked the medal, golden medal, it was not easy, but it's really fun. You get to bring your children, they get to enjoy. We have bouncing castles, they get face painting.
I tried to run, we are many, but I managed to win, as I always do.
I was the first lady in 10 kilometers. Yes, I ran. I didn't remember the minutes, but I have done like 5 meters. It's 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
I do welcome back all the runners. Congratulations to the victors, and certainly we look forward to the conference and the next edition of the run. Now, in more news, the Forum for Democratic Change has celebrated the official entry of Clark South County Member of Parliament, Dr. Gilbert Oulanyah, who entered into Uganda's 12th Parliament, using the occasion to renew calls for accountability, integrity and stronger leadership within the House. Party leaders and supporters saw the new parliament must focus more on fighting corruption, improving service delivery and restoring public confidence in leadership. We do have this report.
As activities marking the formation of the 12th Parliament continued, leaders and supporters of the Forum for Democratic Change gathered to celebrate the return of Dr. Gilbert Oulanyah as a Member of Parliament for Clark South County. The event was marked by excitement, reflection and renewed political commitment from the party leaders, who pledged to continue advocating for the accountability and better governance. Speaking during the gathering, Dr. Gilbert Oulanyah echoed President Museveni's recent remarks on fighting corruption, saying there should be no sleeping in the struggle against corruption and misuse of the public resources. He pledged to actively push for transparency and accountability in the 12th Parliament.
Clark South for voting me to the 12th Parliament. I am so happy. Now that we are here, we need to embark on work for this country. Aware that His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni promised Ugandan corruption-free this time. And this time he made it clearly that Kisanja, no sleep. Therefore, as members of parliament, we also don't tolerate corruption. We need to see corrupt-free Uganda. Therefore, as a member of parliament, our first sitting, we shall elect the speaker. Upon the election of the speaker, we shall urge government to start serious investigation right from parliament. We want government to investigate how the staffs were recruited in parliament, how the finances of parliament were being used, because there is serious corruption allegation in parliament. So this time we want corruption-free Uganda.
Dr. Olaya also observed that the 11th Parliament faced criticism from the sections of the public over issues of accountability and service delivery despite the large amount of the public resources allocated to government programs. He noted that many Ugandans expect the new Parliament to focus more on people-centered legislation and oversight.
Was not clear at all. Many of us were not satisfied with the 11th Parliament because how things were being done, they were being done in a crooked manner and we didn't understand. 12th Parliament, we would like Parliament which is focused, objective and pro-Ugandans. Our major role is to appropriate resources. Any money that we appropriate must go and benefit the Ugandan population. In the 11th Parliament, I'm telling you, people were full of personal and selfish interest. That is why I am not happy as a member of Parliament.
The clerk has sought the legislature further appeal to the both member of Parliament and the ruling government to ensure the next Speaker of Parliament lives fairly and inadequately while prioritizing the interests of the ordinary Ugandans.
And I pray that the NRM this time should give us the best speaker so far. I pray for the incoming Speaker of the 12th Parliament must be someone who is very objective, must be someone who cares for Ugandans, must be someone who looks at Uganda as his or her own home, not personal selfish gain. We pray for the best.
Other FDC leaders and supporters who attended the celebration also pledged commitment to advocating for the improved governance, accountability and protection of the citizens' interests in the 12th Parliament.
Consulting from the President, His Excellency Museveni, one who be bindu very labandu beas. Olabambere tsihabi, wanyala kulonda metwini, ikumoyo mtwelongo, ilala alindi fule MP of Namusimbo County. Yoba papa bamai, muhaba ku Rwanda lw'emetwinta, isende kubalomba nani imukaino, mukukobola atwera, kube simbu sitwera, kube nga mulambira abana misirwa.
The celebrations reflected on the opposition's party's renewed focus on the anti-corruption efforts, leadership reforms and strengthening the parliament's role in addressing the concerns of the ordinary Ugandans.
Now, residents of Mokoye village in Rwanda district are expressing concern over the deteriorating state of Mokoye Health Center 2, the only health facility serving communities near the Uganda-Rwanda border. Community members and leaders now fear the aging structure could collapse during heavy rains, hurting both patients and health workers at work. We do take a look at the state of affairs in Mokoye.
Fear and uncertainty have grappled residents of Mokoye village in Kavu Parish, Rwanda district over the deteriorating condition in Mokoye Health Center 2. The whole facility, which serves communities near the Uganda-Rwanda border, is reportedly in a dangerous state, with strong winds already damaging parts of the structure, destroying government properties and disrupting healthcare services. Residents and the health workers say the facility, established more than 2 decades ago as a temporary structure, has become increasingly unsafe and could collapse during the heavy rains.
Gwaro likatandika bitamo tubazi turi kwereza abantu kugira ngo bakakira urugendo rukaruringo kuza zamaziba kuronda y'imbazi basharamo bajatireka turonde
konka irwaro ryitu ndibonire nigenda kushenyuka ataho tukabentsha abanyene nk'ubuyambi kugira ngo
Barack Derek, the officer in charge of Mokoye Health Center 2, described the condition as critical, noting that medical workers are worried about the safety of the medicines, equipment and other government properties housed at the facility. He explained that the nearest alternative health center is approximately 20 kilometers away, making Mokoye Health Center 2 the only accessible health center facility for many residents in the area.
Mokoye Health Center 2 is in a very critical condition, whereby our structure is really in a very poor condition. Like it is old. We as staff, we are very worried. Actually, we are worried. Like when we close to rainy season, this structure, we are worried it may even fall on us. It is storing government properties. It is storing a fridge that is boosting our immunization.
Meanwhile, the president of Rotary Club of Kabale, Pade Mwesije, said that the club was deeply touched by the poor condition of the facility and resolved to support efforts aimed at improving the structure. Mwesije pledged that the Rotary Club of Kabale will work towards completing and upgrading the host facility to provide residents with safer and improved healthcare services.
About the challenge in service delivery. And service delivery, it goes with infrastructure, it goes with skilled health workers, and it goes with logistics. But the big challenge of this area, it is about the infrastructure. And when the infrastructure is not there, the service delivery is poor. So when we did our assessment as Rotary Club of Kabale City, we discovered there was a big challenge of the infrastructure. And the infrastructure, most of the infrastructure, when you look at the debilitated building this side, it is really very, very bad. We need, but it cannot be worked on. So we started to put up a small facility as our Rotary Club of Kabale City, being supported by, we supported it, but unfortunately, it has not yet been finished. But we pledge as a club that the year of 2026-2027, it will be our project, and we request the members that we should work together to improve the infrastructure of this place.
Canon Hillary. The Rotary Club member Canon Hillary also emphasized the importance of improving the healthcare infrastructure in underserved communities.
Communities are now operating in a dilapidated building that is almost collapsing on them. So our hope and desire is to ensure that this building that we started is completed as soon as possible, and then we shift from the other state building into
Mukwe Health Center 2 was established in 2002 to serve residents of Kavo Parish and parts of Kahonda Parish. The facility currently serves a catchment population of about 1,000 people and attends to more than 12 patients daily.
And from the Middle East, Israel and Lebanon agreed to extend a ceasefire and hold expanded talks on a political settlement. The U.S. announced days before April 17th ceasefire was set to expire. The announcement came even as Israel carried out strikes in southern Lebanon, as it insists are not subject to the truth. Israel has been pronouncing Lebanon and invaded the southern Lebanese borders to do what they call a chase over Hezbollah out of that part of the country. Will you take a look at this report?
Highly productive. That's how Washington described the 2 days of talks it facilitated between Israel and Lebanon, which have resulted in a 45-day extension of a shaky ceasefire that was due to expire on Sunday. It's an outcome hailed by the US State Department spokesperson.
We hope these discussions will advance lasting peace between the two countries, full recognition of each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity, and establishing genuine security along their shared border.
The discussions will be followed by more negotiations from the 2nd of June to the 3rd of June, according to the State Department spokesperson. Lebanon's delegation says it hopes the truce extension will lead to a lasting peace agreement.
The extension of the ceasefire and the establishment of a US-facilitated security track provide critical breathing space for our citizens, reinforce state institutions, and advance a political pathway toward lasting stability.
The truce was announced mid-April, but Israel and Hezbollah have continued to trade blows since then. On Friday, Israel launched fresh strikes on southern Lebanon that it said targeted Hezbollah. According to Lebanon's health ministry, bombings here in the Tyre district left dozens of people wounded, including several hospital personnel. Residents say civilians are paying a heavy price.
There is nothing. This was all a shelter for the displaced. There was nothing but children, women, elderly, that's it.
Lebanese authorities say that since the 2nd of March, Israeli attacks have claimed more than 2,900 lives in the country.
And this brings us to the end of the detail of today's edition of News at 8. But before we close it out, we do take a look at the headlines once more.
Headlines brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
In our weekend edition, twist of events. Security raids former speaker amongst residents amid corruption investigations. CID, military intelligence and forensic teams reportedly search Nakasero home as investigations into alleged illicit enrichment intensify. While UVitab releases practical exams timetable for 47,774 candidates, over 500 supervisors deployed as practical exams begin May 18th. Board plans vocational skills training for primary schools.
UVitab has registered 47,744 candidates for the May-June formal assessment.
And in international news, Israel-Lebanon extends ceasefire by 45 days despite new Israeli strikes.
Brought to you by
Centenary Publishing House, the leading publishers of prayer and hymn books since 1977.
And this brings us to the end of the entire episode of News at 8 this evening, and I continue to thank you very much for joining us always on all our episodes of News at 8, especially those very, very loyal viewers, including persons like Majumba Perpetua and the team. Thank you so much for keeping it Church of Uganda Family TV, and special thanks to the production team, to the reporters and the editor who has put all this together. My name is Philip Mulisa, and I have been with Winnie Buyinza Nakauchi for sign language interpretation. A very good evening, and may you all have freedom always.